Good evening, everybody. My name is SP Sailaraj. I'm here to give a presentation on the topic creative power of break-even analysis. So let's get into the topic first. First of all, break the boundaries. Break-even analysis is not just about the numbers. It's an art. It's an art of balancing cost and profits to create something new, something that breaks the boundary and unleashes the activity, creativity. Let's explore some creative powers of break-even analysis. So jumping on to the next slide, break-even analysis is a way of business to figure how much money they need to make to pay for everything without losing the money or kind of making profit. Include thinking of how much it costs to make their profit or provide their service like rent, wages for the employees, and a lot more. So break-even analysis is helpful tool for all kind of business because it helps them to make smart decisions about their money and how much they need to pay make to be successful in the business field. So break-even point is the point at which a business generates enough revenue to cover all its expenses, resulting in neither a profit nor a loss. It's a point where the total cost of the production or a product or providing a service is equal to the total revenue generated from selling it. In other words, break-even point is the minimum amount of sales that a business needs to achieve in order to cover all its costs and avoid loss. So once a business surpasses the break-even point, each additional sale generates a profit. Calculating break-even point helps a business to understand the financial position among everybody. I mean the competitor, and makes an informed decision about the pricing, product level, and overall profitability. So next is about the assumption. All the costs can be classified either as fixed and variable. This means that costs can be categorized as either fixed costs, which do not change in level of production and sales, or variable costs, which changes with the level of production and sale. So the selling price per unit remains constant at level of production sales. The assumption states that the selling price per unit does not change regardless the quantity of unit produced or sold. The variable cost can remain constant at all level of production and sales. This means that the variable cost per unit remains the same regardless of the level of production and sales. So the next point would be the power of data. Data is kind of unleashing the creative of power of break-even analysis by collecting and analyzing data of cost, sales, profits, and a lot more to identify the pattern to take a better decision. Data foundation is productivity. So the break-even formula. Excuse me. In break-even analysis, fixed costs and variable costs are the two category of costs that are used to determine the break-even point of the business. Fixed costs are those costs that do not change with the level of production and sales. They must be paid regardless of whether a business produce or sales anything. Example of fixed costs includes rent, insurance, salary, depreciation amount, property tax, and a lot more. So the variable costs, on the other hand, are costs that changes the level of production. These costs increase or decrease of the volume, or sales increases or decreases. Example, variable costs include direct labor, raw material movements, packing, and shipping costs. In break-even analysis, fixed costs and variable costs are used to calculate the break-even point, which is the level of sales. Which determine the level of sales which the business generates enough amount of revenue to cover all the amount of to cover all the expenses and to manage the profit. So by understanding the fixed and variable costs associated with the production and sales of production, business can make more informed decision about pricing, production level, and profitability. So the important terms are here actually. Break-even chart is actually given in the right. You can see here. It is actually the relationship between how much money of a business makes and how much it spends. It helps business figure out how many things need to be sold to make a better amount of profit. The margin of safety is amount of extra sales a business has before it starts losing money. It's like a cushion that protects the business from unexpected causes and changes in the market. So contribution is the amount of money left over after a business pay for the things that it needs to make its profit and produce service. It helps business figure out how much money they need to. I mean, how much they need to sell and make profit for a month or a period of time. So thinking outside the box, everyone need to do this because it actually improves the creativity in every field. So break-even analysis requires thinking outside the box. It's about finding new innovation ways to reduce costs and increase profits. This can be include anything from outsource to implement new technologies, and the possible are endless. So the next slide is about the benefits of break-even analysis. It helps to determine the strategy, the pricing strategy by knowing the break-even analysis. I mean, the break-even point. A business can set the right price for the product and to ensure maintain the competitive profit. So aids in budgeting and forecasting. So in this analysis, provide an insight into minimum amount of sales need to cover costs, which can help business plan their budgets and forecast about the revenue. Identify the cost saving opportunity is an analysis that to find out the cost structure of the business. Break even analysis cost to reduce the to identify where the place of cost reduced and improve the profitability. Helps with decision making too. So it actually evaluates the business performance by comparing the actual sales to the break point. A business can assess their financial performance and identify the area of improvement. So the financial, it actually facilitates the financial planning. By knowing the break-even point, business can plan for further investment and an expansion of growth and opportunities. So this is about the limitations. Assume all the product are sold. Break-even analysis assumes that all the product are sold, and which may not be case in the case of reality. So break-even analysis also will assume fixed cost remains in constant. It actually, but in reality, they may change over the time. So ignore economies of the scale. The cost per unit remains constant, but in reality, as the volume of the production increases, the cost may also decrease due to economic sale. So assume the external factors. In this case, we do not take break-even analysis into account of the external factor that as it might affect the business revenue and costs, such as changes in market demand, competition, and other conditions. So assume the linear relationship between the cost and the output. Break-even analysis assumes a linear relationship with cost and outputs, which may not hold true for all the business and all situations. So the last thing is assumes a single product or service, that the business produce a single product or a service, which may not be in case of reality of the business with the multiple product lines of service. So break-even analysis example is, for example, a restaurant owner may use a break-even analysis to determine the minimum number of meals that they need to sell to cover their costs. An online retailer may also may use break-even analysis to determine the minimum number of products that they need to sell to cover their costs. By using break-even analysis, business can be made informed decision that they lead to increase the profitability. So let's take this is actually the problem to find out the break-even analysis and the break point of it. So as a conclusion, break-even analysis is not just about the number. It's about the unleashing creativity of the problem. Power of your business. By using data and thinking outside the box, you can find a new amount of innovative ways to reduce the cost and increase profit. Which right mindset and approach, anything is possible. So thank you.